Just kidding. Caitlin's wonderful.
All right, we're live. Okay. So, okay.
You all right?
I'm all right.
Oh, just speak, man. You're living.
So, I am here along with my podcasting compadre, BIanco, for a special on-site segment of PodcastPD. AJ, what's going on, man?
Hello, Christopher Nesi. So glad to have you in Bergen County. Thank you so much for making the trip up here.
It was my pleasure to drive 2 hours to podcast here.
Are you having fun, though?
I am having fun.
All right, that's all that matters.
Some amazing young people. I finally get to talk to you.
We talk every day.
I get to reconnect with old friends, make a new friend. So why don't you introduce your friends?
Okay, everybody. As you can see in the podcast world, to my left is my
we're
friends.
live on the tube.
Oh, that's right. You're on TV.
There you go.
Live on the tube.
Erica.
Hi.
Michael.
Hello.
Former guest on the show, Michael Andreuli.
Yes.
Is he our first repeat guest?
I don't know. I don't keep track of these things.
You're our first repeat guest.
Wow. Congratulations. Congratulations to myself, I guess.
Yeah.
We're going to get the Andreuli guy, but we got the Andreuli.
Yes, perfect. Andrew, that's
Got it. The other guy was much better. And on the far side of the table, hi, Kim.
Hello.
She's nervous.
Don't be nervous.
I'm not nervous.
Not nervous. She goes on podcasts all the time.
All the time.
So,
I learned from the best, right, AJ?
Yeah, I learned from him.
and I didn't teach him.
I didn't point to you. I just said him.
Him. Yeah, it could be any of him. Erica,
Yes.
what is this conference all about?
Well, really, it's designed around. Want me to get closer? Sorry. It's designed for our kids. The idea behind the conference was to find out what's going on in our school districts in Bergen County, focused around what kids are doing and all student-centered. And we had a really great turnout, I think, so far. Some of the kids' projects that they presented on were phenomenal. I personally got to witness Dater TED Talks. And that was awesome for fifth grade students. What they're doing is their culminating project for the end of the year is a passion project on something they're interested in. And then they create a TED Talk. And they have the teachers in that grade level designed mini lessons throughout the year. And they spend an hour, I think, every 2 weeks organizing that specific topic and teaching the kids so that it builds upon each other. And then their end of the year project is a video that they post on their website.
And for those not familiar with your work, Erica, what is your role in education right now?
Right now, I teach third grade at Memorial Elementary School in Montvale, and I'm aspiring ed leader.
We're all ed leaders.
Well, I mean,
to some degree,
like
right?
outside of the classroom.
Nice. And for people who want to get in contact with you, how can they do that?
You can email me at Twitter.
There you
Is
go.
that cooler? Sorry.
Tweet.
Some of us don't tweet here. I tweet. It's at Erica Ripston.
I read. It's my goal for next year. Sometimes I tweet. Very rarely.
Sometimes I have original tweets.
I read them all the time, especially yours, because you're on it 24/7.
I am not on a
He is
24/7.
not on it 24/7. Mike, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Chris?
What brings you to What Works for Kids 2019?
So in the past, I was a little more involved with the planning of some of these things, but this year I took more of a supportive role, just trying to help AJ and some other people in the background, not jumping off a cliff while they were planning things. But I'm back in the building leadership now, and I just wanted to see what else was going on there outside in the county and hopefully bring some nice ideas and things back to my school that we can implement with kids.
Well, since you brought it up, what is something you saw today that you want to bring back to your school tomorrow?
I think the journalism one of the schools from Demorest was talking about their journalism class, and then how they have editors that are students and a whole basically crew that goes through the class and are the leaders in the newspaper. And they've learned a lot about collaboration and working together and just putting together a newspaper. So that's something that I'm definitely interested in, at least starting with the journalism, getting kids involved, and then potentially having an end product.
I had the opportunity to speak with those 5 young people, and I'll include in our show notes for this episode a link out to that YouTube video or some audio. But I was really impressed with, one, how well-spoken they were, and the jobs that they're doing at just 8th grade, running a newspaper. And I got to see they had some copies of it, so it was very well done. Did you get a chance to see that, AJ?
Yeah, I was in that session as well. Those kids really are working hard. I love how it's set up, too. It's basically an elective for a select few 8th graders. And those 5 were the leaders. It's amazing. I like it.
And the other thing, obviously kids can take it so far, but I got their teacher also came on, and also somebody who definitely inspired his students.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I've worked with him a couple of things, and he's definitely in it for the kids.
And one of the things, my takeaways from the teacher was that, and I complimented him, is that the students were able to answer questions and talk about it. And that's how you know it's authentic, because it wasn't him just feeding them information and answers that they regurgitated, but they were basically able to answer any question that was asked to them with a lot of detail and thought, which means that they are really the leaders of the newspaper. And he's backed more into a support role like he said he wanted to do.
Yeah, they definitely spoke with conviction.
Yes.
And he wasn't poking them or prodding them with anything I could see.
I like that they had to apply for the position. It just showed like their level of investment in the process.
And that's a real world thing.
Mm-hmm.
Applying. We don't just get handed opportunities. You have to fill out a form, paper, whatever the case may be.
Wait, I wasn't able to be in that one. When they applied, was it a paper application or did they have to do an interview?
I think they filled out like a Google form,
Okay.
and then he reviewed the applications.
Okay.
And I'm sure he met with them. He didn't go into detail like interviewing them, but I think he met with them to get like a better idea of what their interests were and what they were capable of doing and what they wanted to bring to the project.
And was there a maximum amount of students that were able to be part of the program, or would he just choose 5?
He said 5 to 6, depending on
Okay.
the class. For that first marking period, it's just editors.
Okay.
So like they learn how to work together as an editing team in all the different categories. And then the following marking period, that's when the kids get to sign up for the class, like the writers. And then they do like their second edition.
Okay.
Kim, welcome to Podcast PD.
Thank you.
What is your current role in education?
So I'm currently the supervisor of curriculum and instruction for the Rivervale School District.
And what do you do as a supervisor of curriculum instruction in Riverdale?
Vale.
Vale.
Or
Oh,
Dale.
Riverdale's the show
That's right.
Yes.
Yes. Riverdale is the place.
that I don't watch.
I'm sure you don't now. Mhm.
Yeah. So obviously I'm in charge of all of the curriculum, K through 8. We're doing new electives. We now have a new portrait of a graduate, which all of our students are utilizing in grades K through 8. And it really encompasses what we believe our students should graduate Holdren Middle School knowing and the attributes they should have while going into high school. We want our students to be able to communicate and collaborate and think critically and creatively. We want them to be really like fearless trailblazers going into high school. And we want them to have the opportunities to participate in elective courses based on passion. So when they graduate from Holdren, they have an idea of courses that they would want to take in high school and really pursuing those passions.
Now, you may have come here like Mike did to maybe get some takeaways. Was there anything you saw today that made the light bulb go off, inspired you, that you want to bring back to your students?
Yeah, there were a few, but one of the things that we've been focusing a lot on is really empathy and being compassionate citizens. So I went to the Englewood Cliffs Responsive Classrooms. That's something that I'm looking to bring, especially in our younger grades.
Now, I sat here all day, so I have no idea what you're talking about. So what you learn?
So it's really a different way of answering questions and really starting your day with your students. You start your day with a morning meeting. Your students are be able to speak in a different way and really learn about their peers and learn about their likes. And it's really a way of just being empathetic and being compassionate students and really learning about your peers, learning about other people.
Now, you were running around, AJ, like a chicken with its head and tail, and I don't know what you were doing today. What did you see that stood out to you from today's events?
Honestly, I really think it came down to the students and their student work. I know you interviewed the kids from Norwood who had basically this cardboard carnival
That
set
was
up.
amazing.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, they did a wonderful job with that.
So well spoken. 2 4.
I was going to say the same
Yes.
thing.
Seeing their excitement.
Yeah, you can see it completely. They came up to us and they're like, "Come play our games." I'm like, "All right, cool. Show us what you got." And they were excited about it. They loved it because they created it. And I think that's what this day really was about. It was about showing what the kids have created. Of course, we had teachers presenting for the kids, but you can see the passion and the hard work that the kids put in there. There was the Data TED Talks. We just saw Paramus was talking about the projects that they were doing for their students. My buddy Kevin Donatello was showing what he does in his classroom with universal design. But everybody really put in a lot of hard work for this day, and they should be proud of what they're doing in their classes, and the school should be really proud of how hard their students are working and not just sitting at a desk taking notes and taking tests. You know how I feel about that.
Tests? I don't even know what they are. I
Yes.
haven't given one in 2 years.
Thank you.
also don't give homework.
Me neither.
No, and I think the work today, especially with the title of the conference, the What Works for Kids conference, it's so important because what works for kids or what worked for kids 10 years ago isn't what works for them now. And to really come in and see the difference in even what the classroom looked like when I was a kid to what we're doing now is remarkable.
That should have been our tagline for the conference. Where was that? Like the beginning. What works for kids? What doesn't work 10 years ago?
There you go.
That's true.
Next year.
Next year.
But so you say
Round
that,
two.
and it makes me think what works now didn't work 10 years ago, but what's working now, what's it going to look like in 10 years?
Right.
I'm not asking us to answer that question today,
Yeah.
but
So we should start answering it today.
we should start answering it today.
Because we saw what it could look like and what it should look
so we're
like.
going to do a conference, what's going to work for kids?
Going to.
What's going,
Mhm.
oh, got it.
Can't say gonna.
Not an English teacher.
No, but I think this is what this is. I think this is what works now, but it should continue working because you can't just do this today and then tomorrow go back to note taking and tests and homework.
Yeah,
You
I
have-
mean, there's
This is the building blocks for what's going to happen in 10 years.
I also think it's attributes to the teachers who are flexible and really, truly lifelong learners that want to grow with their kids and that aren't stuck. And they take the risk and they allow their students to take the risk.
Yeah.
Because our kids won't be able to take risks if we don't take it with them. And if we don't allow it and foster that kind of environment in our schools.
I was speaking to a young lady just this morning who was talking about bringing podcasting into her classroom, and she was telling me how she didn't know anything about audio editing. And I just reminded that awesome young person that, hey, it's okay if you don't know how to edit audio. You can learn with your kids. Right, Erica?
Yeah, I think that young lady might have been me. I'm actually excited about trying this out. I think I like to dabble in all kinds of things in my classroom, partially because I myself get bored.
You're a dabbler.
I am a dabbler. And if I'm getting bored with what I'm teaching my kids, then they're bored. Then they've got to be bored out of their minds. So podcasting's always been on my list of things I want to try. I've just been a little afraid because I don't know what I'm doing. So you reiterated the fact that I can learn with them, and that was the reminder I needed.
And really, you don't have to know what you're doing. There's lots of podcasts out there that people have no idea what they're doing.
I've actually listened to some of them. Mistakenly.
Yes. And I
think you
will
were
be a
on one,
learner
too.
with you.
That was the beginning.
Yes, I will be a learner with you, Erica.
Great.
Because I know nothing about editing
Let's
as
do
well.
it.
So we'll learn together.
Okay.
One of my takeaways to go off what Erica said was just that, in education, people aren't really out looking for the accolades in the day-to-day work that they do. And you could see the sense of pride in the teachers today in not only just presenting what their student work was, almost none of this was about the teacher. It was all, and that was the design of the day. And it really was evident when you listened to the presentations and you saw the pride, whether it was them talking about what their students did or them just kind of taking a backseat and listening to their students while they presented what they've done. And I think that's one of the big rewards for, again, those risk-taking teachers and the educators that are always looking to push the envelope and do what's best for kids, is kind of being able to take a step back. And most of the time we don't do it for ourselves, but being able to watch other teachers kind of talk pridefully about what they've done and what their students have done, and just the growth that they've seen and how it does hopefully lend that energy for people to continue to push forward and push each other and challenge each other to do great things for kids.
And just to add on to that, when I spoke with the newspaper students at the end, I asked them about, what are your thoughts on your teacher who has obviously created this opportunity? And they spoke, again, not prompted, about how their teacher empowers them. And those are their words. Like, he lets us find our way. He lets us explore. He lets us, one of them said that we failed with a couple things, but we learned from that. And again, those are skills you're not going to get in any book. So a great experience for kids going through something like that.
Agreed. Then we talk about failure, right? First attempt in learning.
Or sailing, a second attempt in learning. Just made that up. Book coming soon. Anything else?
Just think it was a great day. I want to thank everyone for participating and putting it together, and the teachers and especially the students who came today to showcase their work. It was a great day, and I'm excited for next year.
And Mike, where can people connect with you for those that don't remember?
I'm also on Twitter, my name, Mike Andriuli, and that's really it. Not anywhere else.
Kim, how can people get in touch with you?
Well, I am on Twitter. I don't really tweet all much, but I am on Twitter.
They can send her mail through the U.S. Postal Service also. Thank you.
Make sure you get all the stamps.
Handwritten, please.
Or email. Yeah, I actually do like handwritten letters every once in a while. You know,
Tell us your Twitter.
it's from your heart. It's at KD123.
KD123.
Yeah, I've actually changed it.
Did you make that account in 2007?
Yeah, right?
I did.
What is this Twitter thing? Let me try this.
I did. It was 7683, but I'm going to change it to be at K Dowling. So
There you
can
go.
find
Look,
me there.
inspired.
Starting today.
It's my merit goal for next year.
Let's start today.
So-
It takes about 5 seconds.
Get
to
your
change
phone.
the name.
Let's
Fine,
do
I
it.
will do
Get
it
your
now.
phone right now.
There you go. So we're going to get off the air. And actually, coming up after this, we're going to talk about postcards before we wrap up this episode of Podcast PD. To those of you watching live on the YouTube, thanks for checking it out.
Postcards.
Thank you to AJ has no idea, but
No idea.
it's coming. All right. We'll see you next time, everybody. Wave goodbye.